Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, I'll be teaching you guys how to cut and sew this very simple crop shirt with cut together sleeves. If you're interested, keep on watching and let's get started. So I'll go ahead and draft on my pattern paper first before I transfer to my fabric. I'll be folding my pattern paper into two. Okay, so this is a shirt. I'll be leaving 1 inch on the front part of the shirt for our button. Normally I leave like 3 inches on the front part of the shirt for my button, but this time around I learned another technique, and that is what we are going to do. So first of all, I will rule out my guideline of 1 inch before I start placing my measurement. The line right here is going to serve as my shoulder measurement. The next thing I'll do is to measure the whole wideness of my pattern paper, and what I have here is about 17 inches. So like I mentioned earlier, I'll be cutting the sleeves together with the shirt. The wideness of my pattern paper is 17 inches because half of my shoulder measurement is 8 inches, which I already marked. The remaining 8 inches is going to be my sleeves length, and the 1 inch that is left is what I will use to hem the base of my sleeves. I hope you understand. So on the end of this pattern paper, I'm going to go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and I'll slant from that point to meet my the point on the shoulder line, which is half of my shoulder measurement. I'll slant from this 1 inch to meet the 8 inches mark, just like this. After doing that, guys, next thing I'll do is to take my point. So the distance from my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. I'm going to mark the 10 inches all the way to get a straight line. After doing that, I'll connect the dots like this. The next point I'm going to mark is my waistline, which is also going to be the length of my shirt. So this is a crop shirt. I don't want it to be too long, so I'll be taking 17 inches as the length of my top. I'm going to mark 17 inches all the way around like this. After doing that, I'll rule a straight line across all the dots, and then I'm going to label my bust line and my waistline, which is also my top length. Next thing I'll do is to start placing my measurements. So on the bust line, I'm going to place my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 9 inches, and I'm going to add 2 inches to that measurement. 1 inch is going to serve as my stitching allowance, and the other 1 inch is going to serve as my ease allowance. After doing that, I will indicate the 11 inches, that is 9 plus 2, 11. I'm going to place my tape like this, and I'll confirm that I have 11 inches. I'm going to place the same 11 inches on the top length. Okay, so whatever your bust circumference divided by 4 is, go ahead and place it and add 2 inches to that measurement. Whatever you have on the bust point, place it on the waistline. After doing that, I'm going to connect the 2 dots into a straight line. Next thing I'll do is to take my neckline measurement. For the width, I'll be taking 2.5 inches. If you don't want it to be too open, you can do 2 inches. And for the depth of the back, I'll go down by 1 inch. And for the depth of the front, I'll go down by another 2.5 inches. So remember, my pattern paper is folded into two, so I'm taking both the front and the back neckline because I want to cut them together. I hope you understand. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the back neckline first, which is 2.5 inches by 1 inch, and the front neckline is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. I'll connect that of the back, and I'll go ahead and connect that of the front. So guys, next thing I'll do is to determine the wideness of my sleeves. So how wide do you want your sleeves to be? For me, I want mine to be about 9.5 inches. So I'm going to place my tape from the shoulder slope, just like you see me doing, and I'll go down by 9.5 inches. I'll indicate the 9.5 inches with a dot. Okay, after doing that, I'm going to go down on this straight line that I have on the bust line, and I'll go down by 3 inches. I'll indicate the 3 inches. What I'll do is to connect now from that 9.5 inches to meet this 3 inches. I'm doing this to create like an armhole curve. So I'm going to use my ruler to curve like this to give me that shape that we usually have on the armhole area. After doing that, I'll connect straight down like this. So we have our sleeves and the armhole. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add half an inch around this pattern paper so we don't run short of fabric. So I'll confirm my sleeves measurement first. After doing that, I'll now add half an inch to the base. I'll also add half an inch to the sides. I'll add half an inch to the shoulder area, and then I'll go ahead and cut. So guys, I've added the half an inch allowance. So when I'm cutting on my fabric, I'm not going to add any allowance at all. The next thing I'll do is to go ahead and cut. So guys, for the neckline area, I'll go ahead and extend the front neckline to meet the front pattern paper. You know the front pattern paper is the one under the back. So I'll cut the back first for both pattern paper. I extended the front one so I know what I'm going to cut out when I'm cutting the front. So after cutting, I'll go ahead and remove the back pattern paper from the front. After labeling it my back pattern, I'll remove it, and then I'm going to go ahead and remark the neckline for the front. So since I already traced it out, I just connected it to meet the neck width, and then I'm going to cut out like this. After cutting, I'm going to place this on my fabric and I'm going to go ahead and cut. So guys, I used half yard of crepe fabric to achieve this top. If you know you don't have strong mind, don't try this at home. 1 yard will be enough for you, but I really managed half yard of fabric to achieve this top. If your mind is not strong, don't try it at home, okay? And that is why I didn't cut on camera, because I had to take my time to make sure that I don't make any mistake. So I've gone ahead to cut on my fabric. What I'll do now is to notch the parts that I'll be fixing my button and buttonhole. After doing that, I'll go ahead and remove my pins. Okay, after doing that, this is what I have. So for the front piece, we have 2 pieces, okay, because that is where we're going to be fixing our button and our buttonhole. So this is what I have. I'll go ahead and open it up for you guys to see. So this is what the 2 front piece looks like. What I'm going to do is to cut out facing, okay, because I only took 1 inch for the button placket, which is not even enough for me to fold like we normally do. So I'll be cutting facing for it. So I've gone ahead to fold this fabric into 2, and I'll place the neckline area of my front piece on it. I'll trace out the neckline and I'm going to cut out the base. Okay, after doing that, I'll split it open because it's already folded into 2. So I'll be using one for the left hand side and the other one for the right hand side. So I'm going to open it up. After opening it up, I'm going to place it on the front piece just like you see me doing, right sides facing right sides. I'll go ahead and pin. After pinning, I'll go ahead and sew. I'll also repeat the same process for the other part of the front piece. I've also gone ahead to cut out the back. Okay, I'm going to remove my pattern paper. You can see that I didn't add any stitching allowance again because I already did that on my pattern paper. So I'll remove my pattern paper for you guys to see. So don't forget that the center back should be on fold. Okay, it should be on fold since the front is already open. So I'm going to open it up for you guys to see. This is what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and just iron my fabric. And for the front, I've gone ahead to sew the facing. okay, in place. And what I'm going to do now is to conceal the rough edges. So if you have a weaving machine, you can go ahead and weave all around the facing. Okay, so I don't have a weaving machine, so I'm going to use my lighter to just conceal the edges. So guys, after concealing the rough edge of my fabric, I went ahead to cut out this interfacing. Is 1 inch width. I'm going to place it on the area where I'll be fixing my button. So to make it strong, I'm going to place it just like you see me doing. After placing it, I'm going to go ahead and iron it to that part of the fabric. This is to strengthen the area where I'll be opening my buttonhole and also fixing my button. After placing it like this, I'm going to cover it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and iron. I'll also use my hemming gum to iron the other part of this neckline area so everything stays flat. So if you want to top stitch, you can go ahead and top stitch, but I prefer to use my hemming gum to just hold everything down. So I'm going to place the hemming gum inside the facing, just like you see me doing. I'll place it all the way and I'll go ahead and iron everything flat. After doing that, you realize that this facing is going to stick to the main fabric, and that is what we want. So I've gone ahead to do that, guys. This is what I have. This is what it looks like on the right side. You can see that everything is all nice and flat. So what I'm going to do now is to join the back and the front piece together. So I'm going to open my back piece, right sides facing me, and I'm going to place the right side, the two right sides of the back of the front piece on this back piece, and I'll pin the shoulder area. So remember, I left half an inch on the shoulder area to join. I'm going to use the half an inch to stitch the shoulders together. So guys, I've sewn the shoulders together. The next thing I'm going to do is to sew the sleeves area and the body of the top using my 1 inch allowance. After doing that, I'm going to fold the sleeves just like you see me doing, using 1 inch, and I'm going to sew all the way around. So I've gone ahead to do that, guys. This is what I have. The next thing we're going to do is to cut out our collar. So I'm doing the regular collar, I'm not doing the one on the thumbnail. So I'll go ahead and measure around the neckline. What I have is about 18.5 inches. So I'm going to use that measurement to cut. This is the fabric for my collar. It is folded into two because I want to cut out the main collar and the facing together, and the length of the collar I want is 2 inches, but I'll be cutting out 3 inches. So before I start cutting, I'm going to place my tape and I'll go down by half an inch. This half an inch is going to serve as a base for me to cut out my collar. I'll rule a straight line across the half an inch. After doing that, I'm going to mark the length of the collar, which is 3 inches. The length is 2 inches, but I need 1 inch to join the collar together. So I'm going to mark 3 inches all the way to the end of this fabric. The next thing I'll do is to place my tape like this, and I'll measure the wideness of the fabric, and what I have is 21 inches. What I really need is 18.5 inches, so I have about 3 inches or 3.5 inches left. So what I'm going to do is to take out the 3.5 inches just so I have the exact measurement that I'll be needing for the collar area. So I'll come in by about 1 inch. So I'll place my tape and I'll go up by 1 inch on both sides. You see what I have left is 18.5 inches, which is what I need. So I'm just going to slant like this from that 1 inch mark. I'll slant like this just to give me that sharp edge on the other area of the collar. So this is just a normal collar. This is not a collar tutorial. You can do any type of collar that you want. I just wanted something simple. That is why I didn't even cut out a collar stand. And you can also decide to do a bishop collar. So just do whatever you like. after cutting out, this is what I have. What I'm going to do is to iron my interface to one side of the collar to strengthen it. So I'll go ahead and iron. After ironing, I'm going to place them back right sides facing right sides. So I've gone ahead to iron to just one side of the collar. I'm going to place them like this. I'll pin all the way around. After pinning, I'm going to sew the upper part of the collar and the two sides, and I'm going to fold in 1/2 inch on the two ends of the collar. As you can see, I used 1/2 inch to sew on the upper part of the collar, and I folded 1/2 inch around. I folded it inward, as you can see. So what I have left on this collar now is 2 inches, which is what I want, which is how wide I want my collar to be. I'm going to now bring the neck area of my shirt. I'll open it up like this, and I'm going to place the collar just like you see me doing, okay? So I'm going to put the neckline area of the shirt inside the collar. So watch me closely. I'm going to put it like this, and then I'm going to pin it down. So I'll push the other area inside just like this, and then I'll cover. So that is why I ironed 1/2 inch inside the collar, so that by the time I'm done sewing, it will still give me that neat finishing. I'll keep pushing inside. I'll pin all the way around. So I'll advise that you pin first and make sure it's sitting well before you go ahead and sew. So after pinning, guys, this is what I have. Everything is okay. So I'm just going to head over to my sewing machine, and I'll go ahead and sew. So you're going to sew on one part. You can choose to sew on the front or on the back, okay, but just make sure what you're sewing is a straight line. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew, and this is what I have. This is what the inside of my collar looks like, and this is what the back looks like. The next thing I will do is to hem the base of my shirt. So you can decide to fold it into two like this, and you run a straight stitch on it. And you can also decide to use hemming gum. So I'll be using hemming gum. I'm just going to double it and place it, and then I'll fold it like this, and I'll iron all the way around because I want to get that neat finishing. I've gone ahead to use hemming gum to finish up the base of my shirt, and this is what it looks like on the outside and on the inside. So I'm going to arrange my top. The last thing you should do is to fix your button and your button hole, which I'll be doing later. And yeah guys, that is all for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like this video, leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.